walked by, I hit you with sexy eyes. You looked through me as if I wasn't right. Oh no, you didn't just walk on through. It's time to break it down so you know I'm after you. When I come creeping up behind you, that's me you're feeling, and there's nothing you can do. When I come creeping all around you, you try to resist my advance, but you ain't got a chance. I come creeping.
Greetings all. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, and all that. I hope everyone's holidays did you okay. You guys all got what you wanted from Santa, and the family all had fun. It's been a while since I've uploaded anything to the channel. I think I checked the other day and it was November 18th was the last time I posted anything. And that was on my latest project for the 2013 hunt, which was some foam board panels. And I got my panels carved finally. Been working diligently on getting the carving done with the holidays and all the family time and everything. The carving aspect of the project took a lot longer than I thought. I was hoping to have this done middle of December, and like I just said, with holidays and everything, I didn't get there. I actually finished the carving on them last night, and I wanted to show you what we had gotten done with the panels. This is only a short few of them. It's about half the panels. And took a lot of carving. There's 32, I made 32 panels all together. A couple more over there. This is roughly about half of them. I'm getting ready for the next step on the panels, which is mounting them to the partition walls. So I figured I'd do a little clip on the process I went through for doing that. But I wanted to show you a couple of panels I did, some specialty panels. These panels I'm making are going into my cesspit room, or water room, or sewer pipe room. You know, I'm not sure. You know, it's a water room. I term it the cesspit room. You know, a lot of you probably come up with different names for it. But here's a clip of what our water room, cesspit room, looked like in our 2012 hunt. Now, if you notice from that clip, one of the props that we have in there and we've used in that room, you know, every year, is a big red dog. God's flesh has a affinity for that pooch. So we affectionately named him, my daughter named him Clifford, after Clifford the big red dog from the kids' storybooks. But we decided I wanted to do two specialty panels for the water room to go with that big red dog. But anyway, I did two specialty panels here. You noticed it's got the carving, and then it's kind of flat there in the center. And what we're going to do is in this flat section here, it's going to be painted black I'm going to be making a platform that will sit up level with this. And Clifford, our big red dog, devil dog, will be sitting right in front of that. I wanted to give it an appearance in the sewer room like he had pushed his way or broke his way through the wall and entered onto the ledge. So that's what those two specialty panels are for. But I think it gives it a nice look, you know, when you put it up with the, get out of my light there, shadows. But you add it with other wall panels, it looks kind of neat. But anyway, now that you've seen a few of the panels that I've made, what we're going to be, what I'm going to be showing you in the rest of this vlog, hopefully, is going to be the mounting of these panels onto the partition walls, you know, and how I go about that, my reasonings and what have you for the way I do it, the way I do it. There are many different ways for mounting these things. And then I'll be doing some later vlogs on the painting aspect. I actually had someone with the last couple of vlogs I did asking how I went about painting, you know, some of the different techniques and stuff I used. And I figured I'd do some mini vlogs on the painting aspect, and that's going to be probably about a month before that gets uploaded. And I'll explain a little bit more about that, you know, later on when I get to those segments. So, but anyway, this is what I've been working on. You know, what I've gotten done so far. There's 32 panels in this series, and they're all carved. They're all ready for mounting onto the back walls. So the next clip you'll see will be the actual mounting of the foam board. So, okay, as you can tell, scenery's changed. Welcome to the Dragon's Lair workshop, or my garage shop. Got everything moved out here for the next step. Got all the panels moved out, all 32 of them. And let's see, oh yeah, I wanted to bring those up. Those were the first two panels I did with this pattern, and they took a little bit of damage. I got a little overzealous with the heat gun on them and melted some holes into them. So instead of trashing them though, or trying to repair them like I had talked about in, what was it, part 4 of the original series, I just cut an extra sheet and made 2 new panels. Now what I'm going to end up doing with those, instead of tossing them or trashing them, I'm actually going to go through and I'm going to cut all the bricks out, you know, to have individual bricks, and I'll be able to use them for other projects, what have you, that might be going into this area of my haunt. Our next step in this project is to get all those panels mounted onto my partition walls. Now, there's several different ways of going about mounting these to a partition wall, depending on what you want to do. The first one most people do is they do what's called skinning, or skinning, I guess, is about the closest word to it. They'll take plywood or an 1/8 inch veneer, attach that to the back wall first, and then attach the panels to the plywood. That's if you're doing it, well, you could actually skin it, and never mind, that's going into a whole nother area. But anyway, you could skin them. That will give you a little extra backing for the wall, so if someone falls into them, they don't actually punch a hole and fall through them. You know, it just gives you a little bit more backing. Problem with doing that, it adds more weight to the panels, and I need to keep these panels as light as I can. So I decided to save some money, save some time, and I'm not skinning them. I'm just going to attach them straight to the partition walls. Now, as far as attaching them, there's also 2 different ways you can go along with it. If you want them permanently mounted, there's a host of different types of glues and stuff that you can do. You just spread the glue out evenly on your partition wall, and then put the panel on it, you know, clamp it down, wait for it to dry, and it's permanently attached. Problem is if the panel gets damaged, or let's say like this year I need 32 panels of this pattern for my haunt. Next year, let's say I need 25 of them. I've got, you know, what is it, 7 panels I wouldn't be able to use any place in the haunt, which means that if I was short on panels, I'd have to make even more panels. I don't want to have to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make them so these skins are removable. Okay. For another example, our entrance hall, the other panels I made for last year's haunt. In this year's haunt, what I just explained about removing them applies. I think I made 42 of those panels, and I'm only going to need 30 of them for this year's haunt. And instead of wasting those sidewalls, I'll just take those panels off, set them off to the side for, you know, for storage purposes. I'm not going to throw them away, not after all that work. You know, and then I'll be able to use the partition walls elsewhere in the haunt if I need it. To get these panels attached to my partition walls, I'm basically just going to be using some little washers, well, not little washers, about 1-inch washers, and some wood screws. And there are several other different types of fasteners that you could use. This is how I prefer to do it. And basically, I just line these up on the panel down the right side. For me, the way I got these carved, on the right side and on the top. And I place screws and washers with washers down the length of them to get them permanently attached, and, you know, get them lined up for the panel. Nice thing about putting these panels on, it also squares up your partition wall. But anyway, that's basically the next step, and I just got to go through and get all the skins, all my panels attached to partition walls. Once that's all done, then I can go through and get everything painted. And when I do the paint will cover up the washers as well, you know, to whatever color it is, depending on where it's located on the wall. But you know, that's basically the process of just going through and skinning them. Now, another thing I should mention to you here before I get started on this is when you go to apply your washer and your screw, the panels to mount them, try on each panel, try to put the screws and washers in the, you know, your fasteners in the same locations. Okay, instead of just randomly around the pattern. It kind of makes them blend in a little bit more, even with them painted. So you know, try to measure it out and you know, get all your fasteners into the same places if you can. Okay, we've got our first panel attached, and you'll notice in the footage that you just saw when I was doing the opposite side over here, I moved some of the washers and screws around a little bit. I ended up get the screws and washers on with this pattern. It was fairly straightforward, you know, after I thought about it. I had to sit there and think about it for a bit. But I put the washers and screws along the corners. I got 2 rows here in the center. There's 7 bricks between screws and balance out on the board. Now each panel I do, I'll just put the screws in the same spots. When I put them together, they'll kind of line up instead of having whoop-de-doos all over the place. And once they're painted, they'll blend right in. Now, if you're worried and really want to cover them up even more, you could get some different sorts of caulking or putties or joint compound and actually put a bit of that over the washer too before you paint it. That would help to hide them. And then if you ever need to remove the panel or whatever, you just have to break up, you know, scrape off the compound and, you know, suck the screws out. That just adds more work to it. I just prefer to paint over the top of them. But that's pretty much it. We got one panel now. Partition wall in the back. Brick paneling on the front. And the table there, I can't do it too far back, but it's attached. We've now got a front panel. It's just ready for painting. Now, something else that you can do too with these, if your partition walls are slightly off in any way, you know, a little bit too narrow, and the foam panel sticks over a little bit, and I'll be checking each panel as I get it assembled, because your walls will vary anywhere from a 1/16 of an inch to an 1/8 of an inch to, you know, depending on how good you are when you're cutting your wood to make the panels. But you know, I'll be checking the one side over here. You can get a, it's basically just a wood rasp, and you can just kind of plane it down a little bit to get it to match. And this one is pretty good. There's a couple little high spots here and there, and I'll do that. I'll kind of trim it down just a little bit. Make sure they match all the way down. And the reason why I suggest doing this is because when you butt them together, you know, you'll get a more, you know, it'll be more seamless that way. It just takes a couple of seconds to go down to one side here. You know, like I said, when you start, if you line it up with the top, and you line it up with one side of the frame, then you only have to worry about checking one side of it to make sure it matches. And you might want to take a look at your bottom too. You don't want it sticking over the wall on your bottom, because that'll keep the wall from sitting on the floor levelly. These panels, when I cut them purposely so they are about 1/8 of an inch shorter than the actual wall. So there's an 1/8 of an inch of wood, but there's about 1/8 of an inch here of the partition wall showing, and that's going to be right on the ground. Most of my haunt sits on the grass, you know, so, you know, and people will never notice it. I mean, they're not going to get down at the ground and look at the bottom of your walls to see them anyway. So, but anyway, that's pretty much the process for attaching. I got one done. That means I have 31 more panels to mount. So I'm going to be at this for a little while. Okay, I got 2 more things for you. One's on the foam board panels out here. If you decide to use the washer and screw method to attach the panels, you need to be really, really careful as you're tightening down the screw. If you get a little too overzealous and tighten it a little too much, the washer will actually sink right through the foam board and it won't hold anything. Yeah, you just basically want to snug them down real good, just enough to so the washer and the screw is just below the surface of the foam board. So keep an eye out if you use that method. The other one, I think I said earlier in the vlog, I haven't posted anything since November 18th. As a result, I've got a bunch of new subscribers. I need to do shout outs. So I'm just going to list them all right now. Hollywood Hunter, I'm going to butcher this one, Kaikaya 1324. It's Kikayah 1324. Matt Allen 222, Joey Mullen, Weirdness 1, Pumpkin Man 3211, Halloween Props Forever, Gothic Dorothy, and she's a young lady who's also subscribed to Troy over at Hellmouth. Big J 192, Alice Ziegler, and I also have 2 new users have subscribed. In other words, they don't have a channel on YouTube, which is fine. You know, if you two actually do make a channel over on YouTube, send me a private message and let me know, and I'll be happy to subscribe to your channels. But anyway, guys, all of you, I wanted to say welcome to the channel. I hope you've liked what you've seen. If you have any questions or anything, please let me know. So welcome there. Now back to the foam board project. I'm hoping tomorrow to get started on the painting on them. It's going to take probably about a month to get all the painting done because there's a lot of hand detail on those panels. So I probably won't get another vlog up until probably around the 1st of February. So it'll be kind of quiet from my end. But figured I'd say something and, you know, let you know I haven't left anywhere.